Now, one of my favourite demonstrations is cat's eyes. I'm going to start by putting the highlight in first. Now that's solid. Now I'm also going to put the white in the lighter section of the eye, but you'll notice that it's not as strong as that. And the reason for that is that we're going to put other colours in here, and if we made it a strong white, it would lighten those colours too much. Now, let's start off with that. Now, into that, we want just a little grey. Now, this is the mid-grey, cool grey, and again, we don't want very much of it, just a little, because I'm going to blend this in a minute. A little bit more over the top, because that's where it's going to be at its darkest. Now, it doesn't look as though I'm putting very much on, does it? Well, I'm not, because it's a forerunner of a very attractive colour I'm going to put on next. If you've got one of these, use it. These are colour shapers, and any blending tool would do the same job, but these do a particularly fine job. So there we have the white and the grey mixed together, giving us a really nice base. Now I'm not going to do that one for the moment. I'll do this one, and then you can see the difference. That's what it looks like before, and this is what it's going to look like after. If you haven't got one of those colour shapers, you could always go back in with the white pencil and blend it in as well, because that does the same job. Let me show you what I mean. Think like that. So you can use that. So, and just before we go on to those lovely colours that we've got in the eye, I want to use the grey. Now remember, this hasn't had any colour underneath it, so consequently the grey is much stronger. Like that. Now we want to avoid the white if we can, because that's going to look great at the end. Do the same with the other eye, and again I will do this one and then leave it so that you can see the before and after. I'm just looking at that, and I think I made that just a little bit too big. A wonderful benefit you have with the pastel pencil medium is that you can alter things if they don't work out exactly as you want them. But I'm just trying to make sure both eyes are the same. And this is before you get the darker colours on, because once you get the darker colours on, it's not quite so easy to change them. Okay. Now, we'll leave that and work on that. Now, the next colour we're going to use from here is a blue. And this blue is 153 in the Faber Castell range. And it's a really attractive tone. Now, I'll put that blue in there like that. Again, very light application. Whatever you do, don't be heavy-handed with these. It'll be too strong. And again, you can blend it. And again, if you haven't got one of these, you could use the white again. Just use the lighter tone. And I'm going to put white back in here again in a minute anyway. So there's our blue. Now in the centre of the eye, I'm using a Payne's grey. Again, take care. It's a very dark colour, and you don't need to press too hard with it. But there we are now, we've already got the makings of the eye, and it looks good, but it's not great. So now we come back in and we've got to darken it a little. So I'm going to use the blue again, but I'm only going to use the blue on the top half this time. Keep comparing it with the one over there. And how far we've come, you see? And then you can just go around, just very, very lightly round the edge. We want to leave the area in the middle quite light if we can, just there. But as I said, I'm going to put white back on again in a minute. To darken that off a little more, now we've got that blue on, we can use just a spot of the same colour I used in here. But you can see that all it's doing is just darkening it slightly. just a little bit like that. Okay, now I don't think we need very much more than that in there. This is the Payne's grey that I use for here. Excellent. Now, again, if you've got the colour shaper, again, you can use it. If you haven't, don't try putting white up here because it's going to be too light. But it looks great down there. Now, this is where I said we can put the white back in, and we can. So we can put the white, just a little bit of white on the bottom there, just to lighten it up just a touch. Now is the time when we've got to darken it. Now, there's two colours I'm going to use for this. I'm going to use the brown, which is the brown it's like a reddish brown, really. That's what it is. And we can also use it just very, very lightly in here. Now, it's simply because the colour of the animal is ochreish. So we want to go around here, and I'm going to come around with another colour in a minute, so a darker colour. So just come round the outside and close in on that just a little bit. Like that. And it comes down in here. And then, and this is where it's a little tricky, you've got to come up and into there like that. So you're shaping the eye just a little better like that. What you're doing is this area here where we put the light fur, you've got that. Now that looks really good, doesn't it? Now I've got to sharpen that up. That's not quite sharp enough to do. I don't think it will do what I want it to do. Oh, I don't know, maybe it will. No, it will. You've got to go round it on top of that brown. You might think, well, why on earth do you do that? Why don't you put this directly on it? It would be too severe going on top of a light colour. So by doing it like this, you make it just a little bit better. Now we're nearly there. I'm just going to darken that top now just a little bit better than I have, and grade it, which means graduate it so that when you get to about there, it fades away. And we can come back in with the white again now, and just very, very light touch with the white. It's almost not touching the paper, folks, to be honest. And put a little bit more white just in the bottom, just to put a bit of highlight in it. And then the other thing you can do is you can make that just a little stronger in there. And there we have it. Now, there's not quite finished yet because I've got another colour which I've used in the fur. This is the ochre. And that can also come round, but this gives you kind of another edge to the eye, like that, and makes it just look that little bit more acceptable. Now this colour can also be used to extend this section here, like that. Now I'm going to do all this again in that eye, but I'm going to do it in little bits. Instead of narrating it, you're going to be seeing it done. And I've just realised that I've got to make that just a little bit darker there. Yes, you'll see it all done again, but I won't be talking. And if you really want to make a fantastic job at this, you use this same colour here between the light and the dark. Very, very light touch. And that gives you that. There we are, lovely. Could probably also fill that in slightly with this colour as well. That'll make it just that little bit more attractive. There we are. Beautiful, isn't it? Okay, now watch as I do that eye. that's almost finished. Just a little bit of work to do on the light in the eye. And another area you may have noticed on this side, which there's a little dip here. And let me show you how I do that. With the grey, put a little bit of grey in. Very, very light touch. And a little bit of the ochre. This is brown ochre. And just a spot. Best clean the shaper off if you can. If you haven't got a shaper, you can use the white pencil. And you just shade it. You bring back the white, like I've done there, to re-establish the light that you've got there. And that completes this demonstration. I shall be doing another demonstration for the nose and the mouth, and the fur, and also the ears. And also I'll be showing you how to do a background on this pussy later on. So I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.